There is no red, white, or blue in this country. The only color that matters is green, because we live in the United Corporations of America. Greetings, salutations, Jordan Chariton live, Status Coup. It is April the 10th, the year 2025, in the United Corporations of America, where insider trading is legal. And we could crash the stock market and cripple working class people while seemingly make wealthier people richer. Yes, it seems like that might be exactly what happened during Donald Trump's Liberation Week, the 7-day tariff insanity. So we're going to get to that. We got a short Luigi Mangione update for you. And then I'm going to take your calls, which I love doing, and we haven't done it a bit. So we'll take your calls probably in the next 15, 20 minutes. So get ready for that. If you want to call in, full warning, I'm on very little sleep. So if you're looking for a fight, you might get me going off on you, because I'm easily aggravated when I'm not sleeping, as is most people. Please smash the like button. Please share this live stream. Also, good news. I'll share that good news later, Colin, if you have that chart of our growth for later. I should have asked for it before, but I was walking my dog. By the way, my dog, Colin, you have dogs. Does your dog have a habit of lunging at people who ride bikes?
It depends on the dog. I don't know about bikes specifically, but
yes. So my dog has a habit of, if somebody's riding a bike, lunging at them. And, you know, I don't always see a bike coming, because sometimes it comes from behind me. So yesterday, I'm picking up her poop, and all of a sudden, she lunges at a teenager riding a bike, and the teenager riding a bike crashes into a tree. Fortunately, the teenager was okay. Fortunately, he didn't fall off his bike into the oncoming traffic coming. But I don't know what to do. I don't know how to train this dog not to attack people riding bikes. But that's my quick dog story. So everybody's okay, but Millie is a bit crazy. So smash that like button, share this live stream. Definitely check out the video we did earlier. Ashley and I, our new reporter, we reacted to Bernie Sanders' CNN town hall, where he bitch slapped the hell out of Anderson Cooper. And I loved it. Loved it. So I got to tell you, it's beginning to look a lot like there was a mass insider trading scheme that went on yesterday, where Donald Trump tipped off the wealthy folks in his orbit to start buying stocks. Let's play the first clip. This is CNBC's anchor with Howard Lutnick, the billionaire commerce secretary, who infamously said, his 94-year-old mother-in-law wouldn't complain if Social Security checks got delayed.
It was not the policy before then.
He also seems to be a great stock pundit, Mr. Secretary. Earlier this morning, before the pause, he put out a message saying it's a great time to buy, and here we are. Well, much higher.
Cool. I'd always bet on Donald Trump. Every time I'd always bet on Donald Trump.
He also wrote DJT, which is a ticker for his media company.
No. Every text every text he sends to me, that's his name.
But that was a great time to buy the market, right? I mean, uncanny.
Well, Donald Trump understands that America is the greatest country. All right, we are the greatest country, and we have the capacity for incredible greatness. But someone needs to take the shackles off. Someone needs to let our farmers sell corn to India.
So, for those that don't know, because not everybody knows this, insider trading is when you get, information that's not widely available to the public before. So you could get information about a company is about to make a big announcement that could juice up that company's stock, or you could get information about bad news about a company or something. So you would want to sell your stock before that company's stock goes way down. So Donald Trump sent out yesterday morning on his Truth Social, great day to buy stocks, DJT. First of all, besides Howard Lutnick looking like he got caught, like a teenager getting caught, fooling around with his girlfriend or something by mom and dad, Donald Trump does not text. Donald Trump, it's a known thing. Donald Trump doesn't send emails. He doesn't text. He doesn't like putting things in writing like most criminals. So he's saying, oh, no, that's how he signs his text to me, DJT. Well, Google it. Donald Trump doesn't email or text. So that's one little fishy thing there that doesn't smell right. But looks to me, Donald Trump was kind of putting out a trial balloon to wealthy folks like, hey, start buying stock because I'm about to reverse these tariffs, which will then juice up your stock. I want to show something else that's interesting. This is not related to Trump, but just to show you how horrible the corporate media is. That clip on the CNBC interview with Howard Lutnick, it came at the end of the interview. Let's show you. This is CNBC. It says CNBC's full interview with Howard Lutnick. Colin, play the part that I cut out for you to play.
He authorized yesterday, and he came out with this policy today. And there was not the policy before then.
You notice what happened there? CNBC literally cut off the part when they reposted the interview. They say full interview. They literally cut off the part at the end where the anchor, very weakly, by the way, she was kind of sort of insinuating that, hey, maybe this was some market manipulation. Maybe Trump was doing insider trading. They cut that part out of the full interview. So CNBC is covering up the fact that Donald Trump just did blatant insider trading. Sorry, MAGA. Sorry if you're watching. Snowflake alert. I mean, it's just unbelievable. I mean, we know Fox is deceptive, but CNBC won't even post the part of the interview that their own anchor kind of sort of challenged the Commerce Secretary on. Was this insider trading? Okay, so we got more. Then Trump had Charles Schwab, a billionaire of Schwab. Schwab is bank, Charles Schwab. You got banking, 401ks, investment plans. Had Charles Schwab in the White House yesterday. Let's take a look at what Trump had to say.
This is Charles Schwab. It's not just a company, it's actually an individual. And he made $2.5 billion today, and he made $900 million. He's in financial. I've always.
He made $2.5 million today, and he made $900 million. That's not bad. Think it's just a coincidence that Charles Schwab, a massive oligarch, was in his office the same day that Trump's sending out truths hours before he reverses the tariffs? Good time to buy stocks. I mean, they are literally openly insulting the working class to your face. They are literally almost gleefully bragging that these people got insider information. These people got tipped off that Trump was going to reverse his tariffs. So buy the stocks. It's insane. Like, MAGA, I'm trying to be kind here. Are you not getting it yet? This guy doesn't give a shit about you. He literally sent out a bat signal hours before for wealthy people to start buying now because the stock market's about to go way up. So you could buy at a lower price since all the stocks prices had dipped, really tanked for the last 7 days. I mean, it's so gross. It is disgusting. Let me read this article to you so you could kind of get more information from PBS. Trump told investors to buy on social media hours before his tariff pause rose stocks, raising question about manipulation. When Donald Trump offered some financial advice, hold on, I forgot to retweet our stream here, so I got to do that now. Oh, boy. When Donald Trump offered some financial advice Wednesday morning, stocks were wavering between gains and losses. But that was about to change. This is a great time to buy DJT, which is also the ticker, the stock ticker for his company. He wrote on his social media platform, Truth Social, at 9:37 a.m. Less than 4 hours later, Trump announced a 90-day pause on nearly all his tariffs. Stocks soared on the news, closing up 9.5% by the end of trading. The market, measured by the S&P 500, gained back about $4 trillion, or 70% of the value it had lost over the previous 4 trading days. It was a prescient call by the president, maybe too prescient. Quote, "He's loving this control over the markets, but he better be careful," said Trump critic and former White House ethics lawyer Richard Painter, noting that securities law prohibits trading on insider information or helping others to do so. The people who bought when they saw that post made a lot of money. The question is, was Trump already contemplating the tariff pause when he made the post? Asked about when he arrived at his decision, Trump gave a muddled answer. Quote, "I would say this morning," he said. "Over the last few days, I've been thinking about it." He then added, fairly early this morning. I mean, give me a fucking break. You think Donald Trump isn't calling people directly or having his rich fucks around him? Hey, call Charles Schwab. Call Schwab's broker. You know, call this person's broker. Call this person's wife. Just let them know there might be some good news later. He doesn't even need to say, "I'm going to reverse the tariffs." Let them know there might be some good news later. They know what that means. So, to be clear, if you're watching MAGA, he ran on lowering grocery prices. He ran on lowering housing prices. He ran on lowering, prices for everything. Make America great. Well, apparently what he meant was enriching billionaires more. Because I got news for you. Not all people are created equal. So Donald Trump could put that out on Truth Social. The working class UAW member doesn't have that extra money to go buy stocks now. The waitress doesn't have, a couple thousand to go buy up stocks when Donald Trump tells him to. But the billionaires do. Oh, that's right. Trump said, "Oh, what's groceries? That's such an outdated name. I've never shopped for groceries in my life." I mean, it's truly, this is just, with the Democratic Party, it's been corrupt for ages. Sorry if you're a, MSNBC liberal watching. Democratic Party's corrupt too, but they don't openly do the insider trading. They kind of just do it in the background. It's a little more subtle. It's corrupt, but it's not as in your face. Donald Trump has Charles Schwab in his office practically giggling about how much money they made off of Donald Trump giving them insider trading information beforehand. It's just unbelievable. And by the way, the insider trading, it might not be just linked to yesterday before he reversed the tariff decision. Let's play this clip. This is from Andrew Ross Sorkin. He is a CNBC anchor. He's also a New York Times writer. He was the guy behind the book Too Big to Fail, which I think was then adapted into the movie The Big Short. Major guy on major Wall Street journalist guy. Not the worst of the CNBC ghouls. And he, which I think is pretty significant, he basically said, it would not surprise me if there was some insider information going on before Trump even announced the tariff announcement. Let's play that clip.
And I don't know where you stand on this, because you're going to say we don't regulate these folks. But, given what the government's been doing and this administration's been doing, it would not shock me, and I hate to speculate, if we were to find out that a whole bunch of people who work in Washington as our elected leaders, one way or the other, ultimately sold stocks last week, or potentially worse than that, shorted the market. My question to you is what you think the responsibility of the SEC is in those contexts.
Well, we have responsibility on insider trading, regardless of whether they're inside or outside of government. We have a very clearly established body of law for those who engage in acts that are prohibited by the insider trading.
But if somebody had access to the list of the tariff plan the day before the plan and decided to sell out of equities or to short the market or to do something else that I haven't thought about, right? Would that be considered inside information to you?
It potentially could. You'd have to take, again, there are two basic duties, what we call the classic insider trading theory of law, as well as the misappropriation theory of law. There are various elements of that. If those elements are satisfied, they can be subject to insider trading liability.
And do you think that also encompasses crypto?
Colin, let me ask you a question. Come on for a second. You know, Colin nor I have a business degree. You know, I took economics 101. I dropped it. It was a bunch of bullshit. Colin, you think there's a chance Donald Trump might have tipped off some of his wealthiest donors that paid for his legal bills for his, 4 or 5 criminal cases at a time before he won re-election? Think there's a chance somebody from Donald Trump's orbit might have tipped off his wealthy donors? Hey, sell your stocks the day before the tariff
I would say there's at least a small chance, considering this is quite literally just an open secret that everyone does in Congress and stuff like that. It's probably not that far of a stretch that the guy who's known for manipulating stuff in his favor might do this and then brag about it on video or something.
And I just want to say something. This channel has been incredibly consistent. We've been very critical on Biden when he was president. Can you fucking imagine if Joe Biden did anything like this and then had, I don't know, George Soros in the Oval Office that day saying, oh, Georgie boy over here, he made $2.5 million. Oh my God. Not only would Fox News be calling for impeachment, they'd be calling for the death penalty on Joe Biden. They'd be calling him an economic traitor. And you know what? I don't know about death penalty. That's extreme. But they'd be right to criticize. Crickets from the right wing on this. Crickets. Crickets, by the way, when Trump has screwed his own voters. MAGA, if you're watching, he has screwed you over the last week. I mean, he screwed you before. Colin, do we have that Brian Tyler Cohen tweet? Brian Tyler Cohen, who has a big YouTube channel, he had tweeted out a while ago, a couple days ago, I guess, basically Trump supporters posting how their 401ks are now shit. I'll just show a few of them. Real Donald Trump, I voted for you, but 30% loss of my retirement funds was not what you promised. Myself and others are now sorry we voted for you. You were killing people's retirement accounts. Real Donald Trump, recall the tariffs. You cost me over $3,200 in my retirement account Friday, and I voted for you 3 times. You're killing us. Dude, I voted for you, but you're destroying my retirement account. Pump the brakes. That's just one page. It goes on like that, and on and on and on. So this is not like, Jordan's a lefty and he's anti-Trump. These are MAGA people. Apparently they're okay with it if it's the immigrants that get harmed. They're okay with it. It's the government workers that lose their jobs. But when it comes to their doorstep, when it comes to their backyard, when it hurts their 401k, all of a sudden, now we care. Isn't that interesting how humans work? They don't give a fuck about their neighbor. They don't give a fuck about the immigrant being blamed for corruption in our government. They don't give a shit if the government workers lose their jobs. But if their 401k is damaged, holy shit, pump the brakes. And it's not just Republicans, resistance, upper middle class, wine mom liberals are the same way. That's why I preach we are a collective. And we need to care whether it's directly happening to us or not, because the chickens are going to come home to roost, folks. Eventually, it's going to affect you. So it's all fun and games, but in 7 days, he literally destroyed millions of people's hard-earned retirement accounts. People that don't have the money to go to country clubs, people that don't have the money to go golfing, people that are not in his economic or social circles, under the guise of bringing back manufacturing. Well, I got news for you because I covered all three of his campaigns. In 2016, he told the GM workers in Lordstown, Ohio, don't move, because it was iffy whether General Motors was going to leave Lordstown, Ohio. Don't move, stay here. We're keeping this factory here. A couple months into his presidency, GM leaves. He said, we're going to bring all these jobs back. Well, I traveled the country during Trump's first presidency. The same closed factories I saw before his presidency were still closed and shut down then. So MAGA, you've kind of got conned and hoodwinked by the whole show of it all, the whole WWE wrestling aspect of Trump. It might be entertaining, but economically, he has fucked you sideways. And he fucked you in the first term because the biggest thing he did was a massive tax break where 83% of it, let me repeat, 83% of it went to the richest 1%. And by the way, smash that like button, share this live stream. We got 400 people watching. We got to pick up the pace there. Also, need your help on the super chats. We got a lot of expenses right now, which I'll tell you about in a little bit. And we're currently planning our next on-the-ground reporting trip. So I need your help with super chats. I need your help with donations if you can do it. And most importantly, sign up as a Status Coup member if you can. If you can't, I totally understand because times are tough economically for a lot of people. But if you have $5 a month, we just hired our first full-time reporter, which I'm super excited about. Ashley's doing a great job. We're trying very hard to hire a full-time producer. We'll have news on that pretty soon. Happy to say we just gave Colin a bit of a bump. Very, very well earned. Colin, who's been with us for the whole time, 7 years. So Colin, we just gave a little bit, more than a little bit, a healthy bump because he earned it. And we're using Zaina now, who's doing great reporting for us. Tina is on the ground reporting from us. Obviously, John Farina is on the ground. So we're trying to cover it all, folks. We're trying to cover it all, but I can't print money or do insider trading like Donald Trump and his friends. So we need your help. There's a lot of channels asking you for money, but they're basically doing hot takes out of their assholes. We are walking the walk. We're not just talking about the news. We're going out there and showing you the face, putting a face to it. I'll tell you a little bit more later about what we want to do, Ashley's first trip. Okay, so moving on. Let's look at Elizabeth Warren, who is, I got to say, is spot on here. She called for an investigation basically into whether Donald Trump just completely manipulated the market here.
Donald Trump is trashing our economy. First, Donald Trump imposed across-the-board tariffs. Then, just a few hours ago, he dropped those tariffs to 10% on everyone and moved the tariffs up to 125% on China, up from 105% yesterday. Now, there's confusion, there's chaos. No one knows what the tariffs will be tomorrow or the next day or next week or next month. But here's what we do know. Are prices still going up? Yes. Are businesses still wary about investing? Yes. Are millions of working people still worried about their jobs and millions of small businesses still worried about closing shop? Yes. And right before Donald Trump declared that some of his tariffs were off again, he sent out a message to his billionaire buddies. He posted, "This is a great time to buy," in all caps. Was that market manipulation? Was it corruption in plain sight? We need an independent investigation into market manipulation because Americans need to know whether President Trump or anyone in his administration manipulated the market to benefit their donors, all while they are working for the American people and while small businesses and those
She's 100% right, but unfortunately, you're not going to get an independent investigation because he's fired all the inspector generals, most of the inspector generals of the government. He's basically made like a Fox News MAGA sycophant the Attorney General of the United States. She ain't going to investigate him. Pam Blowtorch Bondi, whatever the fuck her name is. I mean, who's going to investigate? Mike Johnson, the speaker? Lindsey Graham, who's cradling Trump's balls 24/7? Who's going to investigate him? I mean, I'm sorry to say, authoritarian countries develop when all the checks and balances are erased, including the media, by the way. And I mean, we barely have a functioning media in the first place. Go check out our video earlier. Ashley and I went through the Bernie Sanders town hall where he bitch slapped the hell out of Anderson Cooper. It was a beautiful thing to see, basically pointing out that corporate media is just corporate propaganda. I wish he would have done it during the election, the 2 times he ran. But I mean, I don't even think you need an investigation. It is literally open. It's open. It's out there. He literally gave the bat signal, go buy stocks now. And I think if there was a real investigation, you're going to see that a lot of people got that bat signal before his tariff announcement. I want to show you this tweet from AOC, similar to Warren. She's pointing out that there certainly should be an investigation here. She wrote, any member of Congress who purchased stocks in the last 48 hours should probably disclose that now. I've been hearing some interesting chatter on the floor. Disclosure deadline is May 15th. We're about to learn a few things. It's time to ban insider trading in Congress. Well, how about just banning stock trading in Congress, period? Why do you think all these politicians are against term limits? Why do you think these people want to stay in office for 40 years when they're not going to accomplish anything because nothing gets done in Congress? Because they're making millions of dollars. Nancy Pelosi makes $1 million every fucking 10 seconds. That's not reporting, by the way. That's just hyperbole. But you get my point. You're right. It is illegal. Just enforce the law. Here's the problem. Matt. The folks that are breaking the law are the ones that write the laws. So you're not going to get to enforce the laws. Guess what? Before the 2007-2008 financial crash, we actually had some cops on the beat. We had cops on the beat to actually regulate the banks, to stop this predatory, the garbage mortgages they were sending out. Those CDOs and the collateralized debt obligations and these house of card mortgages, they were junk. We had an SEC. We had the FDIC. You had regulators. They're not allowed to regulate because lobbyists purchase all our regulatory agencies. You can't enforce the law if the lawmaker. You can't protect the bank if the manager of the bank is the bank robber. That's the problem. I got news for you. I think I said this before. I said this right when he won. I think Donald Trump 2.0 is going to make Richard Nixon and what he did look like a walk in the park. I think it's going to look like Child's Play Watergate. The problem is back then in 1970, whatever it was, you actually had like a somewhat credible, not insane Tea Party, batshit, Fox News, Steve Bannon Republican Party. You had a Republican Party that like sort of kind of believed in the law. And if the president's going to break the law, we're going to hold him accountable. That's gone. I mean, I think Trump could shoot someone on Fifth Avenue and Fox News would just say, person had it coming to him. And the Republicans in Congress wouldn't give a shit. We'll stay on it. We will stay on it, but it ain't good. It ain't good. And it sure seems to me like a lot of different laws were broken here. All right. I'm not going to do the Luigi story on this live stream. I'll do it in another video just in the interest of time because I want to take as many calls as I can before I have to go take care of my daughter. So I'll do it's not like a major update, but it's an interesting New York Times story about Luigi Mangione. So you're not missing anything. I'll probably do it tomorrow, just so you know. All right. Let me get the call. Oh, before we go to calls, a couple of things. Number one, we need your support. I've sent out a few emails this week. We really try not to be like other outlets because other outlets send you a shit ton of fundraising emails. And I don't like sending out a ton of fundraising emails because it gets annoying. And Everybody gets, you're getting emails from politicians asking for money, and nonprofits asking you for money, and media companies asking for money. I don't want to beg every day for money. But right now, if I'm not going to beg you, no, we got to beg, because I'm not going to go beg corporations. I'd rather ask you. So bottom line, we need your support. We just hired Ashley, like I said. We just gave Colin a bump. We got to pay John. We got to pay Tina. We got to pay Zaina. Right now, actually, I'm paying a freelancer to cover a protest at Michigan State University where there's arrests expected. Ron, who sometimes fills in for us, I'm actually talking to Ron right now about possibly having him do a weekly comedy show, like a weekly comedy show that we would do on the weekends. That's going to cost money. So money don't grow on trees, and I'm not going to go take it from corporate America. So I need your support. Sign up if you can. StatusCoup.com/join. Another thing that we need support for, I'm talking to John Farina, because we want to send Ashley and him on the road. God bless John. He's got a bit of an older car. It doesn't drive so well to take long reporting trips on the road. So we need to upgrade his car. So there's a lot of costs that go into doing actual on-the-ground reporting. So please support us. I'm talking to Ashley about sending her out to actually do an on-the-ground reporting trip to put a face to this Trump craziness. People who are damaged by the tariffs economically. People who have been devastated by Doge and those cuts. Layoffs. People, grocery prices high. People facing eviction. People having to max out credit cards because of the high prices. Services that have been cut because of Doge. There's been so many youth programs and disability programs and special education programs that are now getting cut or having their funds severely affected. So we want to send Ashley on the road to put a face to this. Sure, you might know the headlines, you might hear everything that's being cut, but that's not the same as hearing from the people affected. And that's what we do. We try to give the microphone back to the people, but it costs a lot of money to do it. So if you can sign up, please do it today. StatusCoup.com/join. $5 a month equals 16 cents a day. Now, some people don't have $5 a month, and if that's you, totally okay. But if you do have $5 a month, I can't think of a better, I don't know a better outlet that consistently, keyword, consistently walks the walk and is out there. Just in the last 2 weeks, we've covered protests outside Tesla. We've covered a massive veterans protest in D.C. We covered a massive protest in New York City. We covered 2 massive protests in New York City. Ashley, I think on day 2, covered a pro-Palestinian protester where you had a loony Zionist tossing dog shit onto protesters. Do you see anyone else doing this kind of coverage? I don't. So I'm not beyond begging you, the people, because I'd rather beg you than Elon Musk. I'd rather beg you than the disgusting donors buying off the Republican or Democratic Party. I'll beg the people rather than the oligarchs. And we're going to have Tina Desiree I forgot, we covered the Fight Oligarchy Tour rally in Las Vegas. And we're going to have Tina covering the rally on Saturday in LA. So we'll be live covering that rally, 4 o'clock Eastern. So put it into your calendar. All this costs money. Folks. I got to pay Tina. I got to pay her cameraman. I just went down the list. So we're walking the walk. But if you don't support us, we're going to have to scale back eventually. So StatusCoup.com/join. All right. Let me set up the call program. We could go anywhere you want. We could talk Trump, talk to Democrats, talk other things. You tell me what you want to do. All right. Let me set it up here. My shows, host a show. And we're going to have to figure out this program because as of right now, we only know we could only have one person on when doing the call program, but we definitely want to be able to have Ashley on too when we do these call programs. So we'll have to figure it out. All right. You got what you need, Colin?
Yeah, that should be it.
All right. Let's put the number on the screen. I just saw somebody just signed up. Let me give you a shout out here. Welcome, new Status Coup member. Joseph signed up. Evelyn signed up. Welcome, welcome. I will shout you out as you sign up. Oh, by the way, we're going to have our monthly members call next week, which I haven't told her about it yet, but Ashley will be joining. So you're in the chat. So Ashley will be on the call. So you can ask Ashley all about her new job and whatever else you want. All right, let's go to the calls here. All right. Charlie. You there, Charlie? Says good Brown McDonald, money in politics. You there? Going once, Charlie. All right. I'll have to drop you. Call back if you want to come on. All right. I'm waiting for more calls. Don't be shy now. All right. Thomas. You there, Thomas? Am I not hearing these folks, Colin?
I hear them. Do you not hear them?
I don't hear them, no.
Okay.
Hold on while we work on the tech. I'll read some comments. Yes, it was very nice of Katie Halper to have Ashley on. Oh, hello. I heard something for a second. Yes, and how that worked out was Katie asked, like, hey, can you or Ashley come on like in 15 minutes? So that was fun.
Make sure, Jordan, make sure your mic is enabled on the browser at the top.
Mic is enabled. How do I do that?
Usually it's at the top browser. There might be like low webcam and mute theme.
On Call-In Studio, you mean? Or
on Call-In, like the website.
Okay.
Or not you guys. I'm talking to Jordan here. He can't hear you guys, but you guys can hear Jordan.
Okay, I'm not the here. Let me.
Oh, you can't hear him either.
Can I share my screen with you, Colin, so you can tell me what to do?
Yeah, let me. You guys get to see us troubleshooting in real time. Oh, did you hit ready, Jordan?
Oh, that
ready to connect. Click connect to show now.
that
you are
could,
connected as the host.
That could be a good thing.
Welcome, host.
All right, I did.
You are now in the host room and can manage your callers from the Call-In Studio web interface.
Hold on. Charlie, you there?
Charlie? Charles?
Charles.
My name is Gabra.
All right, it said Charlie McDonald. Anyway, how you doing?
Oh, good. How are you? So there's something that I wanted to just throw out there and get your thoughts about, which is, first of all, the April 20th executive order. You heard about this?
There's been so many executive orders, it's hard to follow up. Which one?
Okay, so it's an executive order that he signed on day one that directs some of his cabinet secretaries to complete a report about the situation at the border and make recommendations within 90 days. And one of the recommendations that was explicitly put out there as a possibility is a declaration of martial law.
Yes, I saw that. Yep.
Yeah. So, well, go ahead. First of all, what are your thoughts on that? But also, I had some thoughts about that.
I think I'm unfortunately not surprised at all. I think that's in his DNA. That's his desire to basically have the military in our streets. We already saw in his first term he dispatched the military to rough up protesters a couple blocks from the White House. And I think he wants to basically claim that there is a invasion, a foreign war or a foreign invader, and declare martial law. And I think he also wants to start deporting actual American citizens using this martial law. So that's what I think could be coming. And from the looks of it, the Supreme Court seems to 60% of the time, like rubber stamp everything he wants. So it wouldn't doubt me if the Supreme Court allows it.
So thank you for your thoughts on that. Now, one of the things that I've seen just floating around the internet is just talk about like how all of this would roll out. And part of it involves identifying people at mass protests that they anticipate to erupt once martial law is declared. And, I had a thought about maybe how to address this. And I just wanted to put that out there to the universe, really, which is that this is a time when we need a general strike with the demand of putting money out of politics, getting money out of politics. Like everybody just needs to kind of like put their differences aside on whatever and, get behind getting money out of politics and actually, having some sort of like concrete enforcement mechanism for that. And in the process of that general strike, it might not necessarily be a normal general strike where you have a lot of people gathered together, but what are they going to do? Arrest people who stay home?
Well, you know what? In my view, Trump, he might have not declared martial law yet in the context of the military's out on the street and the military is taking control. So like civil freedoms and civil liberties are suspended. But it's pretty close because he's done things that are blatantly illegal. I mean, like, just off the top of my head, he fired the Democratic member of the National Labor Relations Board. Like, the law says he cannot do that. Okay? She appealed. She was reinstated. And now the Supreme Court has overruled that reinstatement. There's many examples where he did something illegal. He lost in appeal, meaning a judge overruled him, and then the Supreme Court came in and issued a stay or overruled that judge. So it's not exactly, he hasn't dispatched the military yet, but for a lot of intents and purposes, on the book laws right now have been suspended because he's doing whatever the fuck he wants, and the Supreme Court is allowing most of that. So I would totally agree with you. I've been saying for 2 years we need a general strike, but it's a lot easier said than done. I do think when you look at right now, you got Republicans at town halls going after Musk and Doge. You have Republicans screaming at some of these town halls, tax the rich. I mean, if you didn't know they were Republican town halls, you would think these are like Bernie events or something. So I do think we're in a moment, and this is part of why I've been really urging people to sign up as members, because I think we have a moment now where things are less blue versus red. I mean, Trump will always have like a certain percentage of his cult that will never turn on him, even if he shoots one of their mothers. Like, it's just a cult, a certain percentage. But there are people now starting to turn on him, like I showed, because their 401ks have been devastated, or because Medicaid's being cut, or, various things. So I do think there is a moment now for left, right, libertarian, liberals, conservatives, progressives to come together against a corrupt government, because the government was corrupt before, but I think it was because it was kind of in the backs. It was all kind of in the background. Most everyday people didn't see it. But now when it's so in your face, when you have the world's richest man basically as the vice president or emperor, when you have Trump openly doing insider trading, I do think there's an opportunity for a general strike. The problem with that, people are scared in this country to go too far because healthcare is tied to their employment, because we have such a shaky social safety net. So I think that there are a certain amount of people that would go on a general strike, but there's a large part of the country that is so economically insecure, that lives so paycheck to paycheck, and they can't afford, to go on a general strike because they're one paycheck away from, being evicted or losing their kids' health insurance. So I'm all for it. Whether it could actually happen right now, I don't know. But something's got to happen because I don't know how much longer, yet. 2 weeks ago, it's Doge. I mean, Doge feels like an ancient memory compared to what he's been doing over the last week. But I don't know how much pain I don't know how much pain he could inflict before people snap. And you know what? Again, I'm not advocating violence. I've said all along, even through my Luigi Mangione coverage, I'm not telling anyone to go get their guns and gun down anybody. I think that could really boomerang back on us 10 times worse. With that said, JFK did say, when you make peaceful resistance impossible, violent revolution is inevitable. And I think the more pain Trump causes people, I fear there's going to be some violence.
Well, that's part of what this. So, like I said, I saw something online that really laid out like kind of a pretty bad case scenario in terms of what could happen. And political violence, and it was part of it. And just the idea that they would use something political, like politically motivated violence to crack down on people, like as a pretext to curtail civil liberties and whatnot. So yeah. Now, what's your sense of where organized labor is on like a general strike?
Well, forget fucking organized labor for a second. We got to make sure organized labor is even allowed to strike. Ashley.
Well, I'm just saying.
Ashley
have you heard?
Ashley just did an interview, which will air tomorrow or the weekend, on the NLRB, the National Labor Relations Board, because as I said, the Trump removed the Democratic board member. She appealed because it was illegal. Because basically, by Trump removing the Democratic member of the National Labor Board, the NLRB was basically paralyzed. It couldn't do anything. And the NLRB under Biden, I'll give him credit for this, was actually helping workers organize. They made it a lot easier for the workers at Amazon to organize, Starbucks, workers to go on strike. So with a paralyzed NLRB, I mean, technically unions are allowed to strike, but as I just laid out, Trump's violating. I mean, they're literally abducting foreign students who are here legally on street corners and sending them to Louisiana. So my thoughts, I want to make sure we still can strike in this country under Donald Trump, because I'm not so sure we can. But I've been saying forever, listen, we cover protests. We've covered Black Lives Matter. We've covered Medicare for All protests. We've covered climate protests. We've covered them all. And I don't want to be condescending because I'm not an activist and I don't want to tell, activists what to do. But at a certain point as a journalist, it gets kind of Groundhog's Day, because I'm going to these protests and John's going to these protests and Ashley is starting to. They're doing the same shit over and over again with no results because they're not changing up their tactics. They'll let you protest. But if you get a little too rowdy, they will unleash their private security force, i.e. the police, to crack your skull. But if you start,
and what I'm talking about, just to be clear, like what I'm talking about is not actually assembling in the streets and protesting, because that's what they anticipate.
Yes. That's
what they want people to do. They want people to get together. I'm saying, like, and this would be different than other attempts at this, but basically everybody just stay home. Then what are they going to arrest you for?
As far as I know, they cannot send the police yet to round up everybody. And I said, hey, let's do a rent strike. You get 10, 20, 30,000 New Yorkers, big people in big cities don't pay your rent. They can't round you all up at once. What are they going to? Oh, Trump will say, send them to Guantanamo. Okay. I think we need economic organizing in terms of housing and rent. I think we need economic organizing in terms of boycotts to corporate banking and people moving to credit unions. I think we need economic organizing and action against local grocery stores and small and retail and predatory retailers. You got to start somewhere, and
And let's put taxes out there too.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
I mean, because it's like if it's going to go to the billionaires, then what are we really paying for it? They're cutting all the services.
I'm with you, and I think I think UAW strike in 2023 it was a good start. Obviously, it doesn't go far enough, but at least they played a little bit of hardball. I mean, organized labor and union bosses have rolled over for the last 30 years and taken shit sandwich after shit sandwich in the form of terrible contracts. So I think what the UAW did in 2023 was a good start, but now it needs to advance. Now it needs to advance to we're not signing a contract that don't have pensions back, period. And talk of trying to get multiple industries to go on strike at the same time in 2028. I'm not saying let's wait till 2028, but I think that's the thing. And that's what's so disappointing to me. I'm not saying she's a fraud and a sellout and all these things, but I feel like AOC, she has the following, she has the microphone, and as a one-time organizer, as she calls it, within Congress, she could be helping to organize something like what we're talking about. But she has chosen to kind of try to work within the system. I don't think that's going to get her very far. Well, maybe it will get her far politically, but I don't think that's going to get us very far. So we'll see. All right, I got to take the next person. I got to take the next person. Thanks for calling.
Hey, thanks for your time. Be well.
You too. All right, Thomas, you're up. You there, Thomas? All right. I see Thomas on the screen.
Hello?
Hey, how you doing? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
What's up? You there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Look,
I just found out that Iowa was the first state to take away civil rights. Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Well, what's going on in Iowa?
Yeah. They just took away civil rights for, yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, what did they take away?
They took away civil rights for trans people in Iowa.
Really? Wow.
Yep.
Does not surprise me. Let me Google Iowa transgender rights. Removes gender.
I gave some feedback here.
Okay, I hear you. So Senate File 418, which takes effect on July 1st, removes gender identity as a protected class in the Iowa Civil Rights Act, which prohibits discrimination in employment, wages, public accommodations, housing, education, and credit practices. So make sure he isn't listening to YouTube stream only calling. Yeah, so you might not be hearing me if you have your YouTube stream on at the same time. So turn your YouTube stream off.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can. And honestly...
Okay, yeah, I just turned it off.
Honestly...
Okay, sorry about that. I was getting feedback.
No, that's okay. Honestly, besides the disgusting, depraved morality of that, because, I mean, these are people. I don't care if they're transgender, if they're gay, if they're straight. I mean, people are people. Besides the... Colin and I, for example, just so you kind of get an idea of what these people are already going through, Colin and I think last year or the year before, we went down to Florida to cover Ron DeSantis's Don't Say Gay bill and his attack on LGBTQ people in Florida, which then spread to other states. And we went to meet with a couple LGBT students. A couple were, gay. A couple were transgender outside the school to do interviews. And literally kids around them were teasing them as we were doing the interview. So transgender people, LGBTQ people, particularly teenagers, already have challenges that we don't have because of bigotry and ignorance and stupidity. But now politicians that are supposed to be representing them are basically either putting an additional bullseye on their back, which is things like the Don't Say Gay bill, which, by the way, are not about education. It's just about censorship and bigotry. And then they're going to take away protections for them. And really what this is all about is the time-tested thing, find an other to blame. Right? You know,
Yep.
you want people who are economically pissed, who are culturally insecure because times are changing and demographics are changing, and they're insecure about that. Go find a Mexican to blame. Go find a Muslim to blame. Go find the transgenders to blame. But a transgender person is not why, you know, Joe Sixpack is losing his auto job. Sorry to tell you, Joe Sixpack. A transgender person is not why you're working 2 jobs. A transgender person is not why you're going bankrupt because of medical bills. A transgender person is not why you're rationing insulin. I could go on. You might not agree with the lifestyle. Okay, well, I might not agree with your lifestyle. Maybe I don't agree with you, you know, rock-ribbed Republican in Texas having 90 guns in your basement. Maybe I don't agree with that, but I'm not losing. It doesn't affect my life. It's just unbelievable how ignorant people have become in this country. Bottom line, there were transgender people during the medieval times. There were transgender people and cross-dressers and whatever you want long ago. The fact that Trump, I mean, think about this. I mean, Kamala Harris was a terrible candidate anyway, and she's, in my view, corrupt. But one of Trump's most successful ads during the campaign was she cares about they, them, or he, him, whatever it was. Trump cares about you. I mean, think about how stupid that is. It's not a policy. It's not anything other than tapping into people's fears. So I feel bad for the transgender people in Iowa. Unfortunately, it's not going to stop at Iowa. And
Oh yeah.
it is what it is. It's terrible.
Yeah, our government was happy about it too when she signed it.
It's terrible. And by the way, as this is happening, you know, it's basically, I love your thoughts. It's just a distraction technique. They're distracting conservatives with this crap to be, and on the other end, they're screwing you economically. I mean, Trump's tariffs are going to crush Iowa farmers. I mean, that's a fact. During this Liberation Week where he's had these big tariffs or whatever, I've seen a lot of different segments about farmers who might have to shut down their farms. So this is what you care about, or this is what the Iowa legislature is prioritizing, taking away rights of transgender people who don't affect you. I mean, it's bizarre. The whole thing is bizarre to me. But this is what happens. He started with, you know, his initial speech when he came down the escalator was the Mexicans, they're bringing drugs, they're rapists, they're murderers. So it's terrible. And it's a tough balancing act, really, as a journalist, because our core sweet spot is really the economic stuff, you know, corruption, worker exploitation, workers fighting back, worker strikes, union organizing, government corruption. So that's, I'd say, about 70, 80% about what we cover. But we don't want to disregard, you know, Colin and I could tell you, when we went down to Florida, we lost money on that trip. Yeah, when we covered the Don't Say Gay, I thought we were going to not do well because YouTube does not really elevate that kind of stuff. And politically speaking, you know, I don't want to say people don't care, but it's not covered as much as what we cover. But I said, you know what? I think it's the right thing to do, so we're going to do it. Whether we make money or not, whether we get views or not. I mean, Colin could tell you because I was frustrated as fuck. It was hot down there, and we were going live to like 100 people. But you know what? The people that saw it really appreciated it. So I am right. I'd rather be on the right side of history, even if it doesn't go viral, than go viral for covering bullshit. So Yeah, we'll cover those things because transgender people are in the crosshairs of MAGA. LGBTQ people are in the crosshairs of MAGA. You have right-wing Republican governors want to bring back gay conversion therapy, which is basically psychological torture, if you ask me. So we will stay on it because public service announcement, the transgender people are not why your life sucks to anyone who might have a problem with transgender people. All right. Thanks, man. I gotta take the next person.
You're welcome.
All right. Michael, you're up.
Yes, sir. Hi.
Hey there.
Jordan, I am kind of an old retired guy, and I sit around and trade stocks during the day.
Mm-hmm.
And I
did Trump call you right before he announced this and tell you to buy stocks?
No. The reason I wanted to reach out to you is because you've been reporting on Luigi Mangione and his case, and I'm very interested in it because I did go all the way through law school, and so I'm very curious about it. But in trading stocks, I wanted to tell you that I am seeing United Healthcare green, positive, going up almost every day when the entire stock market is falling. United Healthcare continues to go up, and I sit there and look at that business model, which is basically larceny, extortion, I don't know what else you want to call it, and the stock is always going up. I'm afraid to trade it because I'm afraid I'm making a pact with the devil, but it's always going up. And I just wanted to pass that along to you.
Isn't that interesting? And you would think it would go down when Trump announced that he's, I don't know if I believe it, but going to put tariffs on big pharma. But you're saying it keeps going up.
It's astonishing. I mean, not only is it going up, it's going up a lot. Every single day. My watch list is a big row of red letters, and United Healthcare sits there, the only green one on the list.
Ashley, if you're still in the chat, you have an assignment. We need to look into United Healthcare and why their stocks keep going up, because something doesn't smell right there to me. Not at all. Especially by the way, the Department of Justice a month ago, I'm not exactly, holding my breath that anything will come of it. The Department of Justice announced a month ago that they're investigating United Healthcare for fraud. So you would think that would hurt the stock. Apparently not.
Yeah. Apparently not. Anyway, I appreciate your show, Jordan. You're doing a great job. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate your support. Okay. Let's keep it coming. Don't be shy now. I want to see more callers. All right. Dennis.
Okay.
Dennis, you're up.
Denise.
Oh, Denise. I'm sorry. The screen is not clear all the time.
It's all right. Yeah, it's fine. I'm named after my dad anyway, so it's all good.
All good.
So I'm sure you've noticed, you've seen that Governor Newsom is trying to make his own tariff-free zones with Mexico and Canada and
really? How is he going to? How is
China?
He? I thought he was too busy cradling Steve Bannon's balls on a podcast. You mean he's actually governing?
Well, this excuse my language. This jackass, every time I'm ready to just throw him to the wolves completely, because I have plenty of reason to be angry with him too. I mean, if you live in California and your PG&E rates went up 6 times last year, and they've gone up over 156% since the year 2000, I would like to know how they expect homeowners to be able to keep up with these increases and actually survive. Are they trying to force us to leave?
Can I just?
That's besides the point.
I don't live in California, but how is PG&E how are people from PG&E not in prison yet? I mean, this is they blatantly do price fixing and monopoly shit. It's just crazy. Anyway, that's another story.
Well, when I think about doing Luigi, I think about those guys. I agree with you. But besides that, besides some rubber stamping crap.
YouTube, just a disclaimer, that was said in jest. Nobody's doing anything. Go on.
It was total jest.
Yes.
I would never, ever.
There you
I'm
go.
trying to get into heaven.
There you go.
Right. Would never, ever. But, yeah, those greedy people. I mean, how they asked for another raise in rates recently so that they can give their board of directors an increase, which is unfriggin' believable to me. After decades of misappropriating their funds and just giving themselves bonuses and raises and not bothering to do any of the maintenance on any of this crap, now everything that fails is our fault and we have to pay for it. But again, that is besides the point.
I want to also point out, and I am not Trump, so I'm not saying wildfires and these things are from poor forest management or any of that shit. Obviously, the climate crisis is pouring gasoline and one of the main culprits. But there is a component for some fires in California that PG&E does not upgrade their electrical wires, even though they are far. I've read about this. Are far past code and are should have been upgraded years ago, but they don't want to.
Many years ago.
Yeah, they don't want to upgrade it because it costs money, and then the wires catch fire. So. PG&E has also been responsible for a shit ton of property damage, death, people who died. But anyway, we could go on about PG&E another time. So you were saying about Newsom?
Yes. Yeah, him trying to me, this is another obvious ploy. On one hand, go you, somebody standing up to this MFer, the orange MFer in D.C. I mean, as much as I would love to be able to say, I didn't vote for this guy, not my president. Unfortunately, the inbred cousins showed up and brought their orange monkey, and now he's running our circus. So this is our circus. That is our monkey. Sad to say, we have to deal with that. However, so Newsom standing up to him and saying, basically they've said that if D.C. won't lead, California may. But it's all kind of illegal because we're not allowed to do this stuff, but he's still doing it. But then Trump isn't allowed to do any of the stuff he's doing either. And so I'm over here going, well, I'm confused by the entire lack of exactly what system are we following anymore. But I'd rather follow Newsom than
I'm a little lost. How is Gavin Newsom going to make California a tariff-free zone? He can't make. I wish he could, but he can't make companies. He can't make California companies not raise their prices if they're affected by Trump's tariffs.
I don't know. I haven't read too much into it. I just heard that he's approached them about this. He's trying to make separate agreements for California. And I know that there's also been more talks about succession, which again is so far out in left field. It's so highly improbable as to be impossible, but it's on the table again.
Well,
so
I think that if Gavin Newsom's ambitions are to run for president in 2028, which they clearly are, I think
they clearly are.
I agree. I don't think succession's going to happen because I don't really think that's a bold.
Agreed.
That's probably not a bold bumper sticker for your campaign if you're seceding from the country you want to run. But I do think that Gavin Newsom is your dime a dozen neoliberal corporatist. He comes off to me like a snake oil salesman with nice hair. He's kind of
are so obvious.
Yeah, he's kind of Obama, Pete Buttigieg, and Hillary kind of wrapped into one sandwich.
Yeah.
And I got news for you because we've covered it, frankly, more than any California outlets have, and national media is not covering it all. But you got a massive lithium battery fire in Northern California. It kind of got lost because of the LA wildfires. But you had this massive lithium battery fire that went on for days. It released toxic hydrogen fluoride, among other toxic chemicals. People are sick now, 3 months later. I'm in the groups every day on Facebook. You got people with chemical burns, nosebleeds, headaches, fatigue, troubled breathing. People have had to move. Gavin Newsom.
Yeah, and he's behind that crap.
Gavin Newsom's the one that pushed this plant through in the beginning of COVID. Now, I'm not against clean energy. I'm not against clean energy, but it doesn't seem like there was much of a plan here, because when lithium burns, which the batteries overheat in some of these factories, you can't. The fire department can't put them out. Lithium is reactive to water.
Yeah.
So you just have to let it burn.
I agree with you 100%.
And apparently, during my reporting, Gavin Newsom, as part of his whole clean energy push, he rammed that plant through over really the locals. Locals say. I think there's probably better places to put a lithium battery plant than next to the salad bowl of America, which is a bunch of farms that produce 70% of our vegetables, a hell of a lot of our fruits. So by the way, right now, folks, if you eat Driscoll's strawberries, or if you eat vegetables or fruit from the Northern California area, I would encourage you, when you're going to buy your fruit, look on the box where it's from. If it says California, Google where in California, because it's probably coming from this region and that I'm talking about. I haven't gotten fruit or vegetables, and it's made it tougher to buy them because a lot of stores only have Driscoll's for strawberries. Organic stuff is mainly from this Northern California area. But Gavin Newsom, to me, listen, would I rather Gavin Newsom as president right now than Trump? Yes, I would. I'm not crazy. But do I think Gavin Newsom, but do I think if Gavin Newsom is elected, is it then going to usher in the next Trump? Yes, I do. Because Gavin Newsom is going to be Go ahead.
He's more of the same. He's more of the same. And if we don't change things, we're just going to crash and burn. You know, trying to go back to status quo isn't going to work at this point.
Totally.
I actually just spent an hour and a half on the phone with my grandson, who just got released from high school early because they were on a 2.5-hour lockdown because there were 4 shots fired at the outside of his high school. You know, and his mother called me freaking out. You know, and the one fucking CEO gets shot for murdering thousands of people, and they want to create new laws to protect CEOs. But kids can die every fucking week, and nobody seems to care, as long as the profits keep rolling.
You know, it's ironic because I was having a conversation with my mother-in-law the other day. You know, my daughter's young, so she's only 2.5, so we don't have to worry about it yet. But we were talking about, you know, public school versus private school. And I don't want to send her to private school. I think it's a waste of money. But I said the only real reason I would want to send my daughter to private school, which is way too much money, is because I don't really see on the news like mass shootings at private schools. You know, I see a lot of them at public schools.
Yeah.
I don't see them. And that scares me as a parent, because you could send your kid to school one day and them just not come back. And this is the kind of shit going on in this country. Do I think Gavin Newsom is going to do anything about it as president? No. Do I think Gavin Newsom is going to lift a finger for Medicare for all? Not a chance. He didn't lift a finger.
No, it's all talk before they get into the seat. And once they're in the seat, they're owned by Wall Street. So, you know,
it's terrible.
And I honestly believe that Trump would have been Epstein already if he weren't benefiting the oligarchy so well.
Well, let me tell you something, folks, and save this live stream. If Trump seriously put a tariff on pharmaceuticals, I would worry about his safety. I'm telling you right now. Not that I actually care about Trump's safety, but if Trump actually did something to hurt big pharma, the pharmaceutical industry, the military-industrial complex, I don't think he would be. I don't think he'd be long for this world anymore. But
yeah, I'm wondering when the next attempt is going to be made now that they're gutted the VA too. You know, I mean. Well,
I'm telling you, it's so obvious. I mean, whatever people think about Luigi Mangione, because you know, some people say I agree with his anger, but I don't condone what he did. Some people say fuck it, you know, viva la Luigi. But to me, I mean, the worst things get. There's going to be more instances like this. It might be at a lower level, but when you push people to a breaking point, when you push people to a point where they have nothing left to lose, when you push people to a point where they've done what you've told them to do, they've knocked on doors, they've gone to the protests, they've voted, right? You know, desperate
times demand desperate measures,
right? And you know, I just think particularly now, and Ashley did a great video for those that didn't see it. Go check it out. Posted yesterday about AI. We haven't even gotten to the point.
Awesome video.
We haven't even gotten to the point that, I mean, I don't think it's in 5 years. You know, some people are saying, yeah, 5 to 10 years. I don't think it's 5 to 10 years from now that you're going to have millions of people laid off because of AI. I think it's like 2 years. I mean, companies are already, I mean, it's like little things. Like I go to a grocery store, there's only one.
I think it's happening already.
Yeah, there's only one.
It's happening already.
There's only one line now for like an actual human counting groceries. So you have long lines because there's one person and the rest is self-checkout. You go to like McDonald's, which I don't eat often, but on the road sometimes they have self-checkout kiosks. And that's not even AI. That's just, you know, tech. Then you...
Dude, I work for a boutique, very high-end tax firm in the Silicon Valley. And we do very high-end taxes. And roughly 20-25% of our client base is now AI companies.
Yep.
And it's spreading rapidly. And every single day I get some sort of marketing material in my inbox to replace me with an AI component that can, you know, do all the bills for me. Now, fortunately for me, our business is very boutique-y. As I said, our clients need a high level of attention and individual demand, and until the big four switch to AI, I don't see my people doing it either. But 2 of the companies that are owned by Israeli companies that Lee Camp has spoken about in the last 2 weeks are supported by my company. They're our clients. So I'm talking about huge dollars and a lot of overtaking. I have been watching for over 20 years the giant loopholes in our tax code that benefit the wealthy, and the poor never get those. You know, inflation goes up for us, socialism goes up for them.
Right.
And until we get everybody in the whole world on the same page with this, I don't see it changing, because this is not a national problem anymore. Billionaires have no loyalty to any country.
Yeah.
They're only loyal to the money.
Neoliberalism is an international cancer. It's not just in America.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, but the only hope I have lately is that the Tesla boycotts are working against Tesla. If we can get the whole world to be pissed off at a company, maybe we can get them all pissed off at an oligarchy. So we just need to spread the word and get everybody on the same page.
From your lips to if there's a God left, years. Because I've been saying,
amen.
Not to toot my own horn, but I've been saying for 2 years now, Steve Grumbine, myself, others, hey, to the people protesting, why don't you actually protest with your wallets? This is like the 100th time I've said it. We've already seen mass mobilization in this country could happen. You had millions of people all across this country protesting after George Floyd was lynched. Millions of people. Imagine if even like one-tenth of those people took an economic action. You could have actually had serious change. So when you see, all right, they're targeting Tesla, Tesla's sales are in the toilet. Tesla's stock is in the toilet. You got Elon Musk going on, Fox News crying crocodile tears. Oh, terrorism. You got the Attorney General charging people lighting Tesla cars on fire with terrorism. It's working. If you do that on a bigger scale, bigger scale, guess what happens? Elon Musk picks up the phone.
Make change.
Elon Musk picks up the phone and he calls his employees. No, not Tesla employees. I'm talking about his real employees, the politicians. And he says, you gotta do something here. You gotta make some concessions, make some laws to make them put down the pitchforks. Same thing with Bezos. It's not enough. Sometimes you get like, hey, first of the month, let's boycott Amazon. Amazon could absorb a protest for a day. Can they absorb a protest for a month? I don't think so. I mean, will they go bankrupt? No.
Agreed.
But will it hurt them significantly? Will their shareholders demand change? So, and obviously it's not just a straight, simple thing, because you don't want to hurt the actual workers, right? So you have to, when you take these actions, we have to have some type of mutual aid that could go to workers, like on a union strike. They don't get their full pay, they don't get their full health care, but they get something, from the union strike fund. So I think instead of donating to politicians who are going to sell you down the river, donate into mutual aid so that if and when we do some type of general strike, the Amazon workers could join us. The Starbucks workers could join us.
Yeah.
I think you're totally right. And I pray that people see past Gavin Newsom, because I do fear that we're in this moment now. It's going to be like a 2020.
Hey, he's a showman.
I fear we're in a moment where it's a 2020 deja vu, and you just have kind of the back to normal messaging.
Mhm.
Let's stop this Trump insanity. Let's not have Trump 3.0 and Vance. So back to normal. I don't care who it is. Give us Newsom, give us Buttigieg. I feel like that's what's going to happen. And I think it's important to put out the fire, but I don't want to just put out the fire if the fire department are the same people that created the fire in the first place. I don't want corporate neoliberalists. We can't have that anymore. So I'm hoping people wise up. All right, I got to take the next person. Thanks so much.
Bye.
All right, Leo. You there, Leo? Going once, twice. Leo, don't let me down, Leo. You there? All right. I don't hear him, so we'll drop that call. If anyone else wants to call, I could take another call or two before I go. There's the number. In the meantime, I'm going to read some super chats. Teresa, super sticker, $5. Pair character lifting some weight, saying keep it up. Thank you. Libre Software, Hegelin, $5. Don't support companies that produce non-free software. Switch to GNUL, LIN, Linux, or at least use open source Windows and Android apps. Oligarchs hate that. All right, good tip. Ash, $5. Thank you for doing this very important work, comrades. Thank you. Nanya became a Status Coup YouTube member. Thank you, Nanya. Appreciate that. Humorous, how you doing, pal? Here you go, Ashley. Thank you for joining Jordan in a journey of insanity, because it's a very long journey and it's very, very harsh. Oh man, journey of insanity. That could be the next. That could be our next slogan. Totally right. Humorous, another $20. Jordan, are you talking about the Gestapo that is formed in this country as a private security force by the police? You must be talking about the Gestapo, because that is what has happened in this country. We don't have police. You know, it's interesting you say that, because Zaina did a video, which we're going to post tomorrow, I think. Trump and his administration literally sent like law enforcement to the house of a Department of Justice attorney that Trump fired to basically try and silence her to not testify the next day. Let me repeat. Trump sent goons to a fired DOJ attorney's house to intimidate her into not testifying the next day. We're getting pretty close, folks, to some type of Gestapo territory. You got ICE agents that are wearing masks and sweatpants without any ID, just abducting foreign students in broad daylight in the street and bringing them to ICE facilities in Louisiana. You got Marco Rubio basically saying, like, hey, if we don't like what you're protesting, you don't have a right to be here, you're gone. What makes you think they're not going to try to do that to American citizens next? You think it's just going to stop at foreigners? I don't. Humorous, $5. Why would anyone care about gay or trans people unless you're in their bedroom? Thank you. And by the way, I have no problem with transgender people, gay people. There's a lot of weird things straight people do. Okay? We're going to outlaw what they do that's weird or you don't agree with societally? So what? Because transgender people dress a different way or have body parts you don't think are natural? You want to, what, take away their civil rights? Police what bathrooms they could go to? The Republicans have made the biggest fucking issue in America, trans people in sports. Who gives a fuck? That's like a local issue, if an issue. That is not even on the top 50 issues in my book. We have a goddamn oligarchy, and they have convinced you that trans men playing in female sports is some, issue of our times, please. Kay Allen, $5. Donald J. Trump loving tech bros, nasty oligarchs. Ugh, it's totally vile. The whole thing is vile. By the way, I want to give shout outs because we got a couple new members to our website. Derek signed up as a new Status Coup member. Thank you, Derek. Evelyn signed up. Joseph signed up. So 3 new members to our website. We got to get a lot more, folks. So again, please support us if you can. It's tough because on one hand, our audience is the working class. And for a lot of working class people, they don't have an extra $5 to $10 a month to support anything, much less journalism. So I don't take it personally if you can't support us. But if you do have like $5 a month that you could join us for as low as $5 a month, it goes a long way, because the more people that sign up, if we stack $5, if we get thousands and thousands of people at $5 to $10 a month, we have the money we need to sustain the on the ground reporting. We'll have money to hire new people. But right now we're at about, Colin, what are we at? About 2,500 paid members?
I believe so. Well, this is all.
I think about 20.
Something like that.
All right, so we're at 2,500 paid members. That's not enough. That's enough to kind of stay where we are. But if we're going to grow, we need to double that to like 5,000, because we need to hire more people. And trust me, it would have been easier to just sell out. It would have been easier. I got an offer many years ago for $500,000. I'm not going to say from who, from somebody that I don't particularly like. I don't think the audience would like, but he had money. I didn't take it because he would not sign in a contract that we would keep editorial control. So that was not easy for me. I'm a human. It was not easy because 500,000, I could have hired a good amount of people, and I could have stopped working 7 days a week because I was doing the job of 5 people. But I did not take that money because I thought if I take that money, we're not going to stay independent, and I'm going to have to deal with this fucking person trying to water us down, and we're just going to become what many other outlets became. But to do it the right way, to stay independent, we need to ask you to support us. So if you can support us, for people that are already a member, if you could go a little further and donate, that's statuscoup.com/donate. All right. Let's see if I have anybody else. All right. No more calls. So I'm going to wrap it up so I can go take care of my daughter. Couple things coming up. We got Ashley will have an interview specifically on the National Labor Relations Board, which is very important to workers. Might sound like kind of in the weeds, but it's not. It's very important as far as us fighting back against this oligarchy, this pro-oligarchy. So we'll probably have that tomorrow, I believe. Zaina has a couple videos that are coming out soon. So we'll have that out, including the one about the Trump administration sending goons to try and silence a fired Department of Justice attorney, stop her from testifying. Zaina is going to have another video on executive orders. There's a bunch of executive orders that Trump just signed that many people don't know about because of the tariff insanity. And one of them is, most of them are scary, but one of them in particular is pretty fucking scary. So a lot going on. And also, reminder, put it in your calendar. This Saturday, Tina Desiree Berg will be live at 4 o'clock Eastern. So that's 1 p.m. Pacific. 4 o'clock Eastern, 1 o'clock Pacific, for the latest Fight Oligarchy rally. This one's in Los Angeles. I have a feeling it's going to be massive. You could be looking at 20 to 30,000 people there. It's on a weekend. It's LA. So we will be live from that rally, and Tina will be interviewing people too. So again, this costs money. I got to pay Tina. I got to pay her cameraman. So please support us if you can. Thank you, new Status Coup member Megan. And if you sign up on YouTube, that's fine. But just a public service announcement, if you're going to sign up, we do prefer you signing up to our website because YouTube takes a significant cut of your memberships. And if you sign up on YouTube, we don't have access to your email. We want your email so we could email you when we're going live, when we're on the ground, covering important things out on the field. So if you can sign up, please sign up, statuscoup.com/join through our website. If it's not too much trouble, you could cancel your YouTube membership, sign up on our website. If you'd rather just stay on YouTube, that's fine too. Ratso, Jordan, $5. Thank you. Can you tell me where to get a list of companies buying food from the Salinas fallout area? I don't know about the companies buying food, but I do know Driscoll's, which is one of the biggest strawberry manufacturers and growers. They grow, one of their biggest farming areas is right next to that plant. So Salinas, if you look down on your strawberry or blueberry, the cart that it comes in, the strawberries, the blueberries, raspberries, blackberries, if it says Salinas, California, if it says Castroville, California, basically there was a couple others, but basically anything in California, if it's Driscoll's, it's coming from that Northern California area. I would also look at the vegetables you're buying, because 70% of your vegetables come from this area. So I can't really tell you the companies. I could just tell you when you're shopping, definitely look at the box to see if it's coming from California. Now, I don't know every part of California, so I would, if you're not sure, Google, where is this? If it's in Northern California, it's in this salad bowl area. And independent testing has shown heavy metal contamination in the soil close and decently far away from this plant. So I mean, people could do what they want, but I am, taking extra precautions because I don't want to feed my kid or my wife or, anybody heavy metal salad or fruit. So I can't tell you all the companies, but I can tell you, definitely look at the box of fruits and vegetables you're eating. All right. Thanks, everybody. Thank you, Colin. We'll see you back here tomorrow.